Hey, I know you sort of.
Welcome. Good morning. Welcome to Unity. My name is Kimberly, and I'm your High Watch prayer chaplain today. I'm not the only High Watch, prayer chaplain here. Available for prayer if you'd like. Will you please stand? The lighting of the Christ candle represents the lighting of our divine spirit energy. With this lighting, we send forth our light energy into the universe. As we prepare to hold ourselves in sacred service, please silence your cell phones and enjoy the service.
Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. It is in this place because you are here. You are the very presence of love and light, the very presence of God. And so turn to your neighbor for a moment and namaste, that I salute the light of you. So welcome, everyone. On behalf of our senior minister, Reverend Marsher, and myself, we are delighted that you are here today. We're kind of switching roles today, Reverend Marsha and I, for a little while. And so I'm so glad that I have this opportunity to open the service with you. So let's take a moment and set the intention to make sure that we are present totally here in this moment. Take a deep breath and release. And if it feels comfortable to you, gently close your eyes. Right now, in this moment and in every moment of our lives, we are one with the one power and one presence of the universe. In this loving oneness, we center ourselves this morning and set the intention to be truly here, right here in this moment. Releasing any thoughts that we have about what may have happened earlier or what we were thinking of doing later. And truly surrender to the moment that is now, that one perfect, significant moment in which we receive the allness of God. And we prepare and open our hearts and we open our minds to be receptive of what Spirit is going to reveal to us, whether it is through the music, or through the reading of the daily word, or through the message, or just simply by a hug that someone gives us. Truly, we are here by divine order, and we are grateful for this opportunity to call this spiritual home, Unity of Citrus, our home, where we can congregate and come together in that spirit of oneness. And so with this intention, we enter into the next few moments together. And we say thank you, loving, precious, holy, indwelling Spirit, for assuring us that we are one with God and one with one another. And for this we say, thank you, God. Thank you, God. Amen. And now let us enjoy the beautiful music that we're going to participate in together.
We're in for a very special message this morning and meditation, and just being here is a divine appointment, like Reverend Luce said at the very beginning. So welcome, welcome. And anyone here from the very first time, would you just raise your hand for us so that we can give you one of the gifts that we are so glad that you're here. Anyone here for the very first time? Everybody's coming back. That is so cool. Yay, yay. So there's lots of things going on here at Unity of Citrus. We are a full-service community, a full-service church, And we have wonderful offerings. And when you came in this morning, you got this month's bulletin program that has all the information about all the classes and events that are going on all during the month, every week. So please take that home with you and look at what might touch your heart about where you are on your spiritual journey, and you just can't wait to be with other people that are growing and stretching their spiritual realization with you. So take a look at that. There's some really wonderful things going on. There's also a wonderful calendar. So take that home. You know what I do? I put this on my refrigerator. So you might want to do that. It tells you what's going on every day here. And there's some really good events. Oh, you didn't get one of these?
On the way out.
We ran out.
No, we got plenty. Said on the way out.
On the way out. So, well, when you go out, you get one of these, and it has information like, on Tuesdays, we've got Angel Talks, a great class, you'll want to come. Tom Carpenter is facilitating that, and it's really focused on his book, Angel Talks. On Wednesday, the history of New Thought, our own licensed teacher, Mary, is doing that class, and I've heard great things about it. On Friday, this coming Friday, we've got rock and roll bowling. So you might want to put that on your calendar. On Saturday, we've got the Men of Unity. Any of you men that want to be with a group of amazing unity, masculine energy, you might want to put that on your calendar for next Saturday. And the new things that are coming up, there's a new painting class by Reverend Lori Gist. And if you go into the front door, when you come in, there's a great poster that explains what she's offering. So that's the new class that's coming up. And ongoing here at Unity, we've got every Wednesday, Silent Unity Healing Service. It has been an amazing experience for people who come for meditation and healing prayer during the week. Beyond Grief is also on Wednesdays, and game night is on Monday. So we've got things going on here all the time. I was given the information that we're no longer accepting coupons here. So, you know, we used to have a basket we put coupons in. We don't have anybody to facilitate that service, so we're not doing that right now. We'll let you know when we do. And I was just given the information this morning by Michael Wilmers, who heads up our audiovisual, that we need at least one new camera operator. And if you have a desire to serve here, take a look back there, just right now.
Yeah, guys.
Sarah's on the camera, and Michael will be glad to train you. So we have wonderful opportunities here to serve. And you did get this when you came in, didn't you? Yeah. So one of the things I want to point out, the Labor Day cookout is coming up, but also World Day of Prayer, and we're really focusing this year on getting as many people possible in the world, but in our community, to get on fire with World Day of Prayer that we will be having here in September 13th. So lots of opportunities for spiritual growth and fellowship. And let us go now into our affirmations. Our affirmation of oneness. Together, there is one presence and one power in the universe and in my life. God the good, all-powerful, all-knowing, everywhere present, right here, right now, God. In our August affirmation, the power of will. And I don't know if you all are experiencing the will of God right now in your life, but as we surrender to that will, amazing things happen. So let's look at what that power means in our own lives and our own consciousness. Together, I am the power of divine will. I have here at Unity of Citrus. Unity of Citrus is a positive path for spiritual living. Centered in God, we celebrate the Christ consciousness in a world of peace, harmony, and abundance for everyone. In our vision, we are here to provide a loving, accepting, and healing spiritual community that transforms lives and our world through prayer, education, and sacred service. We are truly blessed by this sacred sanctuary in this sacred space we call our spiritual home.
Good morning, my Unity family.
Morning.
Today's daily word is potential. Centered in truth, my spiritual potential is unlimited. The word potential is defined as the inherent capacity for coming into being. In this sense, I embrace the spiritual potential that defines my own being. Whatever limits may appear as the day unfolds, I remember that these are merely expressions of my human consciousness. Spirit is my only truth. Each day offers rich opportunities to deny power to ideas of limitation and remember the spiritual truth that Paul affirmed in his letter to the Philippians. I can do all things through him who strengthens me. I allow my spiritual potential to manifest my unleashing of my divine potential. I dissolve negative energies and become an expression of pure love and infinite possibility. And then from Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through him who strengthens me. Namaste.
For our meditation, we're going to begin by gently listening. God is with us, and we are in God. In these moments, let us savor that. God in me, and I in God. And in the sacred understanding, we know that we have all that we need. We have the peace that surpasses all understanding. We have the grounded assurance that wherever we are, God is and all is well. So I invite you to take a deep breath. Release that. Release any concerns and worries or anxieties. You are embraced by the one presence of love always. In your mind's eye, begin to see the light of God emanating from the very center of your being, of your heart. See that light of love surrounding your precious, beautiful heart. Allow its warmth to comfort you and let you know that nothing that you're experiencing is against you. You are one with the one power, one presence of God. You are loved eternally. And that warm light that radiates within you, around you, you can radiate outward because it is who you are. You are created in the image and likeness of God. All of God is in you, and you can radiate that light and that love outwardly. So see that light that has surrounded your heart. Begin to spread. Begin to fill your entire being with all of His love and all of His compassion and all of His peace. Every single cell of your body ignited with the light and love of God. And begin to see that same light emanating from your being outward. So big and so beautiful and so wonderful is this light that you cannot contain it. It fills every corner of this sanctuary. It moves beyond the walls of this sanctuary. Love prevails. Love is what's real. There's no need to fear. And as we bless each other with this beautiful light that is emanating from us, through us, as us, we know our purpose for what we are here. We know that we have come to such a time as this to be the very presence of that light and that love. So let us take a moment to just rest in that awareness as this room illuminates with the love and light that you have now projected. What a sacred, beautiful moment we are in. We're intended to be in that same expression all the time. So as we begin to come back to this present moment here in this room right now, begin to gather that energy of love that you have emanated. Allow it to come back into your heart. And know that it is yours to give. At all times, it is yours to give. Remember. Remember that you are the light of the world. A light hidden in a bush has no function. Allow your light to shine. So gather that light. Put your hands on your heart and hold it tenderly, knowing that that is who you are. That beautiful light is who you are. That beautiful light full of love is who you are. So take a deep breath. Release and come back gently to this moment. Loving on yourself and loving on one another. You sounded so beautiful. Well, good morning again.
Good morning.
I was listening to you singing. I was thinking, we need a choir. Yes, we do. And I hear some beautiful voices, and let's set that intention. That we want a choir. We're powerful beings. Whatever we decide to manifest, we can manifest. So, prayer, I felt, what would Spirit want me to share with you today? And I took lots of notes and I studied a whole lot and I was ready. And then this morning, something else popped in my mind, related to what I was going to say, but it's not in my notes. So I totally reminded myself that it's all about surrender. It truly, really is. It's not I, but the Christ in me that does the work. And so when we surrender, we can come into that space of feeling peace and knowing that we're going to share in this room today what Spirit wants us to share. So, remember a couple of months ago, maybe a month ago, I talked to you about my granddaughter, and I told you that she danced, and that her dance is her gift, and her gift is leading her to her purpose. And then I told you that she was going to dance before an enormous crowd at the Barclays Stadium in New York City that holds thousands of people. And she was going to have the lead role. Her church is enormous. It's called Hillsong Church. And they have hundreds of people. I mean, they have like 4 services a Sunday, and they're packed every single Sunday, which is what I see here for us. Packed to the hilt. But anyway, so she was asked if she could dance, and she was excited. And she got an opportunity to be chosen to do the lead role. She was Eve in that creation story, and it had all this fanfare with lights and smoke screens and sparks everywhere, and it was amazing. I got to see in a tiny little clip that my daughter sent to me that she videotaped from the balcony. But I got to see it, and I was so excited and happy for her. All the wonderful things that are unfolding in her life is just wonderful. But at the same time, I was a little sad. I was sad because I realized that Mel is no longer a little girl. She's a grown woman, a young woman, beautiful, independent, ferociously passionate about what she does. And that gave me a little bit of sadness. Because although I recognize that all these new beginnings are happening in her life, all these new adventures that she's about to enter into, I have to embrace an end. I have to embrace that end, that she's no longer that tiny little girl that I can travel around with. And that is so normal in life's changes. Our lives are always changing. Change is inevitable. We can count on change for sure. And when there is change, all kinds of emotions surface. In order for us to ever be able to embrace a beginning, we need to be able to deal with the end. We need to be able to deal with those emotions that happen when something comes to an end. T.S. Eliot, a very well-known and beloved poet, said that what we call the beginning is often the end. The end is where we start from. Is that true? Yes. Yes, it's very true. It's extremely true. See, because we cannot really move into our new beginnings until we've dealt with the feelings that surround the endings. I had to deal with the feeling that surrounded my endings with Mel, that she's not a little girl anymore. I had to deal with that sadness, with that emotion that I was experiencing. And sometimes those endings, I think that's my phone.
God's calling you.
My apologies to all of you. So I had to deal with that emotion that I was experiencing about Mel moving on to her new life. If I don't deal with that emotion of sadness that I was feeling, I would get stuck in a cycle of suffering. And that's what happens to us. When we choose not to deal with our emotions, with our feelings, then we fall into the cycle of suffering. So what do we do? learn to move with the harmony, with the ebb and flow of the natural course of events that happen in our lives? How do we move with that and deal with our emotions so that we can live the life that we were intended to live? You see, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And so we're intended to experience all the peace of God, all the love of God, all the joy of God. We're intended to experience that. But when we leave unfinished business done, we can't. We get stuck. We get stuck in that place that causes us great pain and great sorrow. What do we do with our emotions most of the time? Right? Well, one of the things that we do is we deny them. You ever talk to someone that you know is really hurting, and then you ask them, how are you doing? Oh, I'm doing really good. No, I'm doing well, I'm fine, I'm fine. My sister's like that. I can tell from listening to her voice that something is happening in her, that something is going on. But when I say to her, B, what's going on? And she'll say, oh, I'm fine. Denial. Sometimes we just want to ignore it. We just want to busy ourselves with something else. We want to, I don't know, sedate it somehow. We just want to do whatever we want to do, but we don't want to face it, so we want to ignore it. So we drink and we do harmful things to our bodies. We do make choices that are not the best choices because we just don't want to deal with it. We want to be able to kind of cover it up somehow. We want to ignore it altogether. Other times we repress it. It goes way deep somewhere. We just don't let it come out. Hold it down. There's no way. Because I've heard people say, if I say what I'm saying, I'm going to explode. You ever heard that? Yes. Because we're trying to hold it down. We're trying to repress it. We don't want anybody to see it and hide it. And we just don't want to know. We don't want to bring it to the surface. And other times we just project it. We tend to take whatever it is that we're feeling and kind of lay it on someone else. This is what we do with our feelings most of the time. Perhaps a lot more things, but these four at least. When we were babies, we knew how to deal with our feelings. If you ever watch a baby and they're feeling sad or angry, what do? They scream, they cry, they let the tears flow, they squirm, they pound, they even throw themselves on the floor. Okay. And I always wonder, they're going to get really hurt, but they don't want to hold on to that feeling. They don't want it. They want to be able to allow it to pass through. Charles Fillmore, our co-founder, said that feelings are attached to thoughts. You see, feelings are not thoughts, but they are attached to thoughts. A feeling is really an energy that needs movement. And so we call it energy, in motion, emotion. That energy that we're holding on to needs to move. It's not meant for us to repress it. It's not meant for us to ignore it or deny it or project it. It is meant for us to address it so that we can allow it to do what it's supposed to do. And what it's supposed to do is to give us wisdom lessons. That's why it comes. When we choose not to do that, when we choose to bottle up our feelings, to repress them, to deny them, to ignore, to do whatever we need to do so that we don't address them, then they get lodged into our bodies, because that's where they go. And somewhere, somehow, that emotion, that feeling that you're having gets stuck there. And you begin to experience physical and sometimes even psychological pain because it's lodged somewhere in your body. The feeling was really intended to last in your body about 90 seconds. Really. Have you ever had a feeling like all of a sudden you're feeling, oh, I'm so sad, and then something really dreadful happens, all of a sudden that feeling is gone. It's just gone because it's not meant to stay in your body. It's not meant to continue to be making havoc inside your lives. And sometimes we have to do the courageous things. We have to say, I am willing to face this feeling and deal with it. The problem is that we don't know how anymore. Because when we were younger, we were told, stop crying, right? And if you try to be angry or express your feelings of anger, you were punished.
Something to cry about.
Yeah, I'll give you something to cry about. Exactly. We were taught how not to deal with our emotions. They did not give us anything to replace them. How do we deal with them? So obviously, as adults, we don't want to throw ourselves on the floor and start doing temper tantrums, start banging and crying and screaming. Or maybe we do. Maybe that's what we need. The idea is to be able to find avenues through which this emotion, this feeling that we're having, can pass through us. And no one is exempt from feeling feelings. Even Jesus, our great way shower, beloved brother. He wept when his friend Lazarus died. He was angry when he went to the synagogue and found out that they were using the house of God to sell things and make profit. And perhaps one of the greatest moments in his life when he experienced the most emotional pain was just before he knew that his impending death was near. And so he did something. See, he modeled for us what we need to do. He went to the Garden of Gethsemane, place of pain, place of agony. And many of us have been there. How many of you have been in your own Garden of Gethsemane?
Yeah.
Yes. Where you have gone with this sorrow, this feeling. I know I've been there many times. And you go there and you're trying to release it, and you're before the presence of God because you know that you cannot do this by yourself. You know that within you there is a power that is greater than you and is you. And you want to connect with that to help ease this passage of this feeling. They say so strong was Jesus' feeling. And I could imagine that you know that you're going to die any moment now. And that death is going to come through the crucifixion. And that you know all these other things that are going to happen. There must have been fear. There must have been worry. But you see, he knew something even greater. He knew a greater truth. He knew that what he needed to crucify were the thoughts that he had in his mind. That's what the crucifixion means. Those thoughts that were keeping him separated from realizing who he was, what he had come here to do, and that there was no death. We're spiritual beings. In the physical, we experience something, but in the truth of ourselves, we know that there is no death for us. We're eternal spiritual beings on this planet for a little while in this physical body. And so what Jesus had to do was be able to move beyond the appearances, the outer appearances, and return back to the center of his truth, of what he knew was truth. And sometimes we need to do that too. We need to surrender our will, which is what he did. He realized that the will, that he still had a portion of the will that was still clinging to the human consciousness. And that in order for him to experience the full potential of who he was, he had to surrender that will to the will of the Father. And so we hear him say, not my will, but thy will be done. And sometimes, and I'll tell you a mini story, there was an episode in my daughter's life where she was going through a divorce. And it was a very painful, horrific divorce, and very threatening. And there was fear all around it. She had to call the police and get orders of protection and all kinds of things. And she would call me, and she lives in New York, and I live in here, Florida. And so there were times when I had to agonize with that feelings that I was feeling, the frustration and the anger and the fear that I was feeling. And I had to go to my own Garden of Gethsemane and be able to say, wherever she is, God is. Wherever she's experienced, everything is unfolding for her life in a divine order. I release this feeling that I'm having a fear and frustration and anger, I release it, but I couldn't do it without going to my garden, to be in oneness with the Father, to be in that place where I knew that I would get what I needed, to be able to overcome this. And I had to make the courageous choice of letting go of my fear and stand firmly on what I know is my truth. And when I did that over and over and over again, my emotion began to release. Because I was letting go of what I was giving, that thought that was giving birth to that emotion. I was letting it go. And it came back and it shared with me that lesson that it wanted me to share. To let go and let God. That was the lesson. Let go, let God. What can you do hundreds of miles away? Let go, let God. And so, I did. And the story is that since then, my daughter has remarried. And she has a beautiful, amazing husband. I mean, we're so proud of what has happened and so grateful for how when we are able to process our feelings and release them and let them go, that we can go to that place where we know our truth and live from that truth. You see, the aim of doing all of this, the aim of letting go of our feelings and allowing them to release and pass through us is not so that we can keep the happy feelings and let go of the ones that don't feel so good. The aim is to heal. That is the goal that we all want to do. We want to heal. We want to reach a level of consciousness that is not dominated by our outward circumstances. Did you hear that? That's the goal. The goal is to heal. And when we heal, we return to our oneness. Processing feelings are very, very important. The Buddha says that emotional pain cannot kill you. You kill you, but running from it can. Allow it. Embrace it. Let yourself feel. Let yourself feel. What I love about unity is that we never stand up here without giving you practical tools that you can use in your own life to help you be able to do what we're trying to teach you. And so today I want to give you some practical practices that you can begin to employ if you want to be able to engage in the process of processing your feelings. And I make copies of them on the way out. The ushers will have them for you because it's a lot to remember. But it's simply this. Processing feelings. The first thing you want to do is set time apart to establish yourself in oneness with God. Take time every day to make an inventory of what it is that you're thinking and what is it that you're feeling. Because we clearly know that our third principle says that we create the experience of our reality through our thinking, through our feeling. So take time to take that inventory and then begin to release. Usually what I do is I get into that quiet place and I begin to make affirmations so that I can remind myself, because we tend to fall into a sleep. I begin to say, I am one with the presence of love. I am safe. I am loved. I am okay. Once you feel yourself totally in oneness, then move from your head into your body. And I say that because feelings get lodged into our bodies somewhere. You want to try to locate where you're experiencing that feeling. You can ask yourself things like, is it in my stomach? Am I having butterflies in my stomach? Am I cramping here? Is it in my jaw or in my neck? Am I tense in my fists? Where is this feeling showing up in my body? And then move on to describe it. What does it feel like? Maybe it feels like a pulsing, pounding feeling, or a heating, pinching feeling. Try to see, take time. Remember when we said allow, embrace? So allow yourself to feel the feeling. What does it feel like? Describe it. And breathe. You want to feel that sensation. Allow that feeling to express itself through you. Welcome it. Do not resist it. Sometimes we're so afraid we want to resist what we're feeling because it doesn't feel comfortable for the moment. But remember, it's only coming for a moment. If you resist, what you resist persists. So don't resist. Most people are trying to get rid of their feelings, especially the ones that we say are bad feelings. But what we resist persists. We don't want to do that. We want to breathe. We want to breathe with it and allow that sensation, for you to feel that sensation where it is. Identify it. What does it feel like? And by just allowing it, sometimes it releases and leaves your body. But if it doesn't, if the sensation is still there, see if you can try matching that feeling with a sound or movement. If that feeling had a sound, what would it sound like? Ah! Whatever it sound like, make that sound. If it has a movement, you need to punch some bags, do it. Give that sound, that feeling expression. It needs expression. And then question the feeling. Remember, I said earlier that it has come to deliver a message, a wisdom lesson. What are you here to show me? Ask that feeling, what are you here to show me? Sometimes anger may come to show you what or whom is no longer of service to you. What needs to be changed or ended? Sometimes fear shows up and is here to teach you a lesson or just asking you to pay attention. What do you need to face? Sometimes sadness, when it shows up, is what or whom do you need to let go of so that something new can birth. Remember what I said at the beginning? You cannot move fully and enjoy the fullness of a new birth if you're not dealing with the end. And finally, is your feeling wanting you to do something creative? Wanting to have this energy within you that's stirring and wants you to move forward, to embrace something new. I have these for you and we will pass them on. The feelings are important. We want to process them. And in this community, this is a great community. I have never been in a place where I was so loved and so supported. Because we understand what we have come here to be. Many of you, last week when Reverend Marcia announced her retirement, many of you may have been holding on to some feelings about the situation, and that is normal. That is absolutely normal. You know, we all know that Reverend Marcia's retirement doesn't mean that we're ending a relationship with her, yet we know that it's closing a chapter of her life, and that for a while we won't see her in this place. So there are feelings that surface, that come forward about that. And we want to be honest with ourselves. We want to recognize the elephant in the room. What are we feeling about that experience? Or what are we feeling about our own personal experiences outside of that? Here in this community, we have an amazing group of people. We have our prayer chaplains. Prayer chaplains, would you please stand? Our prayer chaplains are here to pray with you. Should you need to have someone hold that space for you while you are processing whatever it is that you're feeling, whether it is about Reverend Marcia's retirement or something else, they are here to pray with you. We have amazing licensed Unity teachers. Mary and Annie, would you please stand? And these two women not only can pray with you, but that have been trained to provide you spiritual redirection, which is a type of counseling. If you want to talk to them about what you're feeling, they are here to do that for you. I am here to do that and help you facilitate that. This is what we love about our community. We have Lydia Valentine. She's not here today, but she holds the grief group. Sometimes at end feels like we're grieving. And she has this grief group that meets every Wednesday. And you have an opportunity at any time to come and go into that group as often as you need, so that you can receive the support and have the sacred conversations that you want to have in a safe, welcoming place. Feelings are just visitors. That's why they're here. They're just visitors. They're not meant to stay. We have to let them come, and we have to let them go. And then we can experience the wholeness that we need. Sometimes when we want to let go of something, we want to be able, let me come down here, I can talk to you, it's my little phone. So one of the ways that we want to help process Vera Marsh's retirement is by doing something really special for her. And so I am asking you to participate in whatever way feels most comfortable for you. Next week, we'll have a basket out. And in that basket, you have an opportunity to bring your cards and your gifts. Start collecting that. We also have Lauren. Lauren, where are you? Here's Lauren. Lauren is going to help us put together a videotape. And he has collected all kinds of pictures to put them together. But one of the things that he would like to do is get testimonials. Maybe there's something that you want to say to Reverend Marsha that she can treasure forever in a little tape. So those are testimonials, maybe about a time that you remember being with her that was great fun, or something that happened in your connection with her that you want her to know. Lauren is going to be here today if you want to, right out there.
One of the classrooms here? One of the classrooms?
Right by the classrooms.
Yeah,
If you
why
want to
not?
go and stop by, they'll start recording right away because there's a lot of you, and maybe a lot of you want to say something, so he has to start early to do that.
Thank you.
We also have, thank you, Lauren. We also have cut out little hearts that we'll have available next week. And for those of you that are artistic, maybe you want to design something on your heart and leave a little message, and we can create a heart collage to give her. And lastly, we're going to have a party. Yeah, you like parties? I like parties. So we're going to set up the cafe with balloons and music, and all we're asking you is to bring a covered dish so that we can all enjoy fellowship together. Now, Reverend Marsha is not doing any carbs. You can still bring carbs, but remember, she doesn't do any carbs anymore. That's why she's gotten so beautiful. But anyway, no carbs if you can. Salads and meats and those kind of nuts, cheese, vegetables, yes, all those kinds of things. And that will be for the very last Sunday in the 26th of August, okay? So she's not here because I requested that she step out for a little bit so she would not hear the surprise. So I don't know, try it as much as you can to keep it quiet. I know it's hard to do that, but try as much as you can. As we move through this experience together, by being the support of your prayer chaplains, by having your licensed teachers move you through this experience, by having these little rituals to show our love and our appreciation. As we do that together, we heal individually and as a community. Because in order to have a new beginning, you have to put closure to the end. And to put closure to the end, you need to deal with your feelings. I love you. I bless you. And I see all of us doing great things. Namaste. So now, I'd like us to, we're going to move into the part of our part of our service where we give our love offerings and tithes. I just love how we support this community because we have a vision. We know what we want. And your generous offerings allow us to have that. And what's so wonderful is as you give, you receive. Because we believe in the consciousness of prosperity. God is our source. And we give on with all our heart so that we can grow and do all the things that we want to do here, that we have been called to do here. So take your love offerings in your hands and let's bless them. Divine love through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I send forth this gift with my blessings and my love.
We had a special board meeting. We had a special board meeting Wednesday. And I was asked to come up here and share the board's thoughts with you. So I jotted down a few things that encompasses what happened and how we are dealing with our current change. I see this congregation surrounded and covered in a warm blanket of divine love. First, let me say we have had a wonderful, spirit-filled 5 years with Reverend Marcia. And she has been a true blessing and a delight to us all. As a board, we have had a great, spiritual, loving, working relationship. And now, as we say a tearful goodbye, we must move on. We as a board have unanimously decided that Reverend Luce has worked alongside Reverend Marcia for the last 3 years, serving in numerous important roles. During Reverend Marcia's 3 months sabbatical, she served admirably as our interim minister. She has led our sacred service team and performed in many leadership roles. She is well loved and respected, and the board is confident she can fulfill the role as our spiritual leader with a Christ-filled consciousness that she has graciously displayed in her own life. We feel this is in divine order, that God has opened one door just as another one closes. We would encourage your input on the board's intention to request unity worldwide to appoint Reverend Luce as our new minister. We welcome any comments or input that you may have to the board, because we are your representatives, but it's our job to fulfill this position. But I can't see going anywhere else in any way, shape, or form when we have diamonds in our own backyard.
Yeah.
Say this: I love you all, and I love you, Luce.
Oh, I gotta process this feeling. Thank you. Love you dearly, too. And I really, truly believe that this is in divine order. So, with that said and done, I am going to invite invite the children to come and join us. All right. I think there might be a few more tiny ones coming. But while they come here, oh, here's one. So we love our teens and we love our children, and we would like to find out what you guys do today. Would you share with us? Anyone? Okay, there you go.
So we talked about when we go back to school and we're getting stressed about meditating, and we also talked about goals that we're setting for the year, and then we played Jenga and I got really competitive and I won twice. May I add that I won 3 times.
I just love them. They bring us all this wonderful energy, so we want to bless you. Oh, wait, there's one more thing.
Yes, I would like to add that they are starting school next Monday.
Wow. We want to really send them an extra blessing. And know, each one of you know that we love you truly, and that we are going to hold this intention for a school year that is going to be filled with joy and all the goodness that is yours to have. And you will be that little light wherever it is that you are. So let's take a special time. Let's rub our hands together this time. It's one of the special blessings. We love you. We bless you. We hold Christ in you, and we see you doing great things. As we sing together, our peace. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. And the presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
I got mine. You got mine.